You got some nice meat hooks there. Makes for a damn good punch. What? You got a nut in your throat, mud crab? Out with it!
You never know what you'll find laying around in a crate or barrel. People toss the darndest things in them.
Why? Did Angrenor send you? Or was it the captain? But if you've come to brawl, the joke's on you. I don't like company. Never amounted to anything. Most people talk, and I don't like what they have to say.
This inn looks promising.
It ain't nothing I can put my finger on. Just seems like the more I get to know someone, the more they're having a laugh. Only I ain't laughing. I don't get it. I'm a strong Nord woman. I don't see what's so funny.
Something that keeps. How about some dried fish then?
Let's sate that appetite.
I thought so. That, or they're too intimidated by me. Most Nord men want a woman who can fight, but one they can best. No one can best me. I am one of the best in all of Skyrim. Got a punch that'll break iron, and a chin like Skyforged steel. Are you making fun of me? I can't tell. Well, if you are, I've got some knuckle pie for you. And you better believe it's bad for your teeth. I know I'd make a good soldier. Just don't want to be one is all. Prefer to fight man to man with the tools the gods gave us. Yeah, I got a story or two worth telling. I fought all sorts. Soldiers, miners, sellswords, and even a priest. Some old imperial priest. A cottonbelly from Cyrodiil come here to preach against the war. I found him in my seat one night, whining about the clouds. Something about not being able to see the stars at night. I said, "You want to see some stars? You keep crying like a thumb drinker, and I'll show you some stars." He stood up, but he didn't walk away. I didn't expect that. I said, "Doors that way, Grandad." But he never took the offer.
This is a local favorite and one of the first.
He gets up real close, but I don't smell any meat on his breath. Then he looks me straight in the eye and puts his coin purse on the counter. 100 septims, he says. Next thing I know, chairs are being cleared on the second floor, and the old priest's rolled up his sleeves. We went at it for a good 10 minutes. I kept waiting for him to cheat me with his fancy magic, but the old Imperial took his beating like a Nord. It's a date. 100 gold. Winner take all. Good. Fists only. You use magic, I break your neck.
One septim.
Who taught you to fight? Keep those hands up! 12 septims on the big one. Fight! Fight! Drive that snow back. Come on! You just gotta stand there and take it. Fight back. Who taught you to fight? Keep those hands up.
Fight, fight.
Somebody help!
Punch, don't get punched.
Wow.
Keep doing that and you'll
You
win.
got bricks in your gloves? Because you punch like it.
Who taught you to fight?
You win this
Keep
round.
those hands up.
Here. Gold's yours. Here I thought that old Hacken was the toughest son of a bitch I ever fought. But you're a cut above.
Good to see you again, friend.
Make it quick. Speak. I thought you'd never ask. 100 gold. Put it up, and I shut you down. Of course you do.
Got some fresh baked bread and good cheese if you're after a bite to eat. Mind you don't get fresh with Susanna. She plays the flirt, but it's just to get good tips. Here, take a look at this. Did you see it was lit one? When word came that he'd fallen, his... Take a look. Sure thing. It's yours for a day. Aye, that I do. I ain't saying he was perfect, but he knew what it meant to be a Nord. The Empire's always taken us for granted. Nords died by the thousands in the Great War. And what did the Empire do? They outlawed the worship of Talos, Skyrim's most beloved son. Huh, there's thanks for you. I guess what I'm saying is, Ulfric stood up for us, and for all Skyrim. So who's gonna stand up for us now? Here, take a look at this. Some of the Jarl's men came by and left this bounty letter. I'll show you to your room. Right this way.
Good to see you. Finally, someone useful is around.
Those dark elf refugees will take over this city if we aren't careful.
What now?
Hmm?
Me and my wife, Shallow, came here in hopes of settling down. Yet it seems this place is not hospitable to outsiders. Beautiful name for a beautiful woman. The name of the woman I love. And I don't care what anyone has to say about it. You're right about the people, but I suspect you're wrong about the reason. They don't disapprove of me marrying an orc. They disapprove of is me marrying my daughter. That's right, I married my daughter and I'll make no apologies for it. When Nord and orc breed, the child takes on the traits of the mother. There isn't a drop of Nord blood in that girl, and as far as I'm concerned, I'm no more related to her than my horse Ulfric. Haha, very funny. Look everyone, a jester's come to show us how to juggle our ale instead of drinking it. Her mother died in childbirth. It was a painful thing to gain one life and lose another. And as Shallow grew, I began to see the resemblance. Not just physically, but in the way she acts. The way she laughs too hard at a bad joke, loves to sunbathe and covers her mouth when she lies. It's as if her mother had transferred her very soul into a new vessel. When Shallow became a woman, I realized that Mokat hadn't lost her life. She gained her youth. Shallow may be my second wife by name, but she's my first by everything else. It's true. The Divines seek to punish those who marry their kin. People marry their cousins and they end up half-wits and knuckle-draggers. Yet my daughter is not my kin. She inherited none of my blood. Her children will be strapping young boys and girls chiseled in the mold of Malakath. If there is, so little it's insignificant. You think you can intimidate me? You touch a hair on my head and my wife will come at you like a crazed minotaur. Now that's love. Rolf Stonefist keeps asking me if I want to brawl. What are we, 12? I think all this aggression is compensating for something. Down there.
Every night, I walk around the Grey Quarter and let them greyskins know what I think of them. We ought to dig a big hole. Throw all them dark elves and Argonians in it. And let them tear each other to pieces.
I'm a sailor on the North Wind. We're laying over in Windhelm for a while. It's good to spend some time on solid land.
What can I do for you?
Need something?
Need something?
What do I do? Do I hire a mercenary? By Talos,
Alright, let's see what's
I
on
wish
the
Uncle were here. Oh, hello, stranger. I apologize. I have a tendency to mumble out loud. My family's sword. The caravan delivering it was ransacked. I had hired 3 bodyguards, but in the end, it wasn't enough. My uncle said we'd never find it, but I heard some of the guards talking about this bandit group over in the Uttering Hills cave. Maybe they're the ones who attacked the caravan. It's a long shot, but you never know. Wonderful. The cave is just to the west of here. I'll mark it on your map. Oh, and payment. I'll have 500 gold for you when you return. Thank you.
You will yield or you will die.
Wait, this is a surprise.
That's the last.
You picked it.
What beauty! What a sight! Another gift from the gods. We work well together, don't we?
Never should have come here.
That takes care of this group. I believe that in the heart of every brigand lies a soldier of the elves. All it takes is one sight, one landmark, and they will turn.
What was that?
I hope they learned their lesson.
What was that?
Although, I guess they won't be learning anything.
Give
now
up
that
while you
they're dead.
still can.
Stay away from the...
I don't like talking to someone who holds the... Excellent. You've done us a great service. Here is your reward. Travel safely. It's dangerous out there.
Yes?
It's you! Did you find it? Was it there all along? I feel like you're taking advantage of me. But at this point, I just want my family's sword back. Here. It cost me a small fortune, but it will be worth it when I see the look on my uncle's face. I think he's staying over at the inn in Solitude. I'll need to get the sword polished and ready for viewing first, and maybe hire some security. Cheaper ones than you, but good ones nonetheless. I believe our business is done. It's actually quite valuable, being somewhat of a historical artifact. Of course, you can find many old blades in ruins all across Tamriel. The real value is in its inscription. It names the bearer of the sword as the true heir to my ancestor and her love. I've heard rumors that the Elvish side of my family was quite wealthy, but I doubt that was anything more than my granddad's embellishments.
I suppose you're
It's
here
you.
to chastise
Did
me
you
about my
thank the
wife.
divines? I can't wait to tell my uncle in Solitude the sword is once more in safe hands. He's been staying at the Winking Skeever trying to fish for clues. The poor old man. I can just imagine the look on his face when I show him. But I'll need to get the sword polished and ready for viewing first. As for you, I believe I owe you a reward. Thank you once again. I've heard rumors that the Elvish side of my family was quite wealthy, but I doubt that was anything more than my
I
granddad's
suppose
embellishments.
you're here to chastise me about my wife. Don't care for it. Not that the stonework isn't impressive, but it's also bland. They may call the Great Quarter a slum, but at least it has those colorful little banners. And that's another thing. The Great Quarter, what a stupid name. Them dark elves are more blue than grey, if you ask me. The Stone Quarter, now that's grey. One of these days I'm gonna visit the palace and tell them to switch the names.
Yes?
What is it? Is there something in my teeth? Oh gods, I sure hope not. Debella, guide us.
Name's Nils. I'm the cook up at Candlehearth Hall.
My favorite drinking buddy. Let's get some meat.
Divines bless you. May the ground you walk
Yes.
quake as you pass.
Yes, what do you want? Can't you see I'm busy dying?
You know you can afford a septim or two.
And not everyone can be bored to death. But I bet the ones that are were talking to you. I will be whatever I want to be, you brainless cur. I will not be courteous. For what nobility I had left departed along with my fortune. No, I was stripped of it by the only thing that could affect someone of my eminence. I lost it to Dragonfire. Helgen. I was there. Somehow, I doubt that. One with your considerable waistline would have proved too tempting a morsel for a dragon to ignore. You are indeed in excellent shape. A perfect circle. Of course, there's no need to take offense. Appearances mean nothing to me. For one of your considerable girth, that may prove auspicious. Truth be told, I have suffered worse in the name of making my fortune. I wonder if you are spoken for. Which brings us back to my original point. I am in need of a suitable partner, one who can finance the lifestyle I've become accustomed to. Because, for all intents and purposes, I'd rather be dead than poor, and every second I am the latter brings me closer to the former. So, as the Nords are fond to do, I seek marriage without courtship. Time is short, and every day is worth 2 tomorrows.
It's not much to ask.
And what should I do with it? Work the fields like some common harridan? I know my worth, and for one with my stock, there are only 2 sensible ways to make a fortune. By marriage, or by blood. And, unless some wealthy uncle shows up with gold spilling out of his pockets, the only viable alternative is marriage. What's that supposed to mean? Someone like me? You mean someone who is young, high-born, and educated? I am affable. I am sweet. I am the most devastating beauty Skyrim has witnessed in 5 millennia. And you are evidently blind. Do you think yourself a poet for stating the obvious? If you fancy me, show your favor with gifts, not words.
You know you can afford a septim or two.
I inherited it. And by that I mean I earned every septum. My mother was a hard woman, and she treated her servants, her farmhands, and her children like hardened criminals. I remember we had an orc servant, bastard born, and every time my mother got drunk, she made it a point to remind him. She gave the poor sod a serving of knuckle pie for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. 3 square meals a day, right square in the jaw. I don't have to imagine how much they hurt. I know the taste of it all too well. Yes, only the beatings weren't enough. Bruises heal, but the words stick you like a dagger. One day I asked a servant why he puts up with it, and he told me, same reason you do, for the gold. I learned a valuable lesson that day. The one with the gold makes the rules. Those without it are prisoners. Those with it can forever live free. Well, I accept your apology, but you seem to be missing the point. What is horrible and decent depends entirely on the size of your coffers. Many before you acknowledged the direness of my situation, but their pity was as empty as their pockets. I disagree. Zenithar honors those who aid commerce, and Julianos takes pleasure in the contradiction of having criminals make laws. Each divine has their own morality, and none have jurisdiction over the actions of mortals. And who do you think fed the soldiers and reared their mounts? Ashwood Farm had a contract with the Empire, and they paid handsomely. With no Jarl, there were no taxes, and with a military garrison situated in the city, our homes were guarded tighter than the Blue Palace itself. Helgen was indeed a military outpost, and that is precisely what made it profitable. And what should I know my way? And unless some wealthy... Don't be absurd. Wealthy men will abandon their children and leave their wives the moment they see my amulet of Mara. I am young. I am high-born. I am educated. I am the most devastating beauty Skyrim has witnessed in 5 millennia. What man wouldn't want this? I admit, my personality is a bit disarming to some. I am a simple woman who knows what I want, and isn't willing to settle for anything less. You may paint me as selfish for thinking so, but most failed marriages are a product of compromises. Compromises leave you unfulfilled and unsatisfied, and resentful of the spouse who forced you to make them. Leave, then. Need something? Leave, then.
There is no way it's the same sword.
Well, have you considered the possibility that he knows?
Nonsense. Why reveal his cards now, After all this time.
You and I both know this game can be played many different ways. And the letter is mighty suspicious. How do we even know she wrote it? We need to go into that cave and see if she's still alive.
Fine, we'll go. But I suggest you hire a bodyguard just in case. And one more thing.
Hush! I hear someone coming. You, stranger. You look like the adventurer type. We need some muscle to help us save a friend who might be in danger. Fight well, and the job will pay well. Do you think you're up for it? The win is right now. As for the where, you have to agree to the job first, and then I'll tell you. You ask a lot of questions for a hireling. All you need to know is that she is, or else we wouldn't be paying you. We aren't fighting saber cats, if that's what you're asking. Whoever it is walks on two legs, eats, and empties its bowels just like us. More importantly, it bleeds like us. That should be enough to keep your tunic dry. Good. A couple of well-placed swords will make things, as your ilk are fond of saying, right as Rain's hand. The place she's hiding out is a cave called Pure Water Run, just outside of Markarth. We'll meet you there.
Excuse me, but I don't talk to the help. Excuse me, but I don't talk to the help.
I've never actually seen a winking skeever. Well, I'm sure when I do, it'll be magnificent.
Good. We cannot tarry for long. The situation may already be dire.
Safety in numbers, Elf. You, of all people, should know that.
Is that it? My little niece hits harder than you.
Hopefully this overgrown mud crab you hired will know how to keep its mouth shut. Excuse me, but I don't talk to the help. Yeah. And annealed. What is the meaning of this?
It's simple. If you remember the story of our ancestor.
Elder? Possibly. The face, maybe. But everything else.
On the contrary, there is a dark elf in this very hold who claims that with the right face, she can turn men into women, and Nords into elves. I am willing to believe that such sorcery is possible.
What's today, Sunday? We should pray at the shrine of the Bella. I'm feeling a little unreligious.
Like what?
Divines have mercy on you!
I apologize for the deception. I wasn't sure if you were one of Vartheim's agents. His uncle certainly believed as much. But no, while I did visit the face sculptor, it was only so I could match Bainil's. My real name is ᵯᴑᴆᴆᴇᴆ. I'm a distant cousin of Pelgot's. With Nords, one's ancestors can be kept alive through stories. But for we Orkney, it was only just yesterday that we lived it. I was but a child when the sword was given to my uncle's love, and I remember the sparkle of its edge was as bright as the midday sun. Then, as it is now, the blade serves as a symbol uniting our two families. Vartheim was planning on selling it for a cheap profit. That was merely a trick to fool Vartheim's agents. When you retrieved the sword, the first thing the Nord did was meet Bainild in this very location. It was rather serendipitous that Vartheim was working with a female high elf, because it allowed me to easily adopt her persona. A dark elf named ᵯᴑᴆ. She lives in a quiet barrow near Reachwood Eel. Fortunately, the practice was conspicuous enough to where Vartheim's spies would never catch wind of our trap. Pelgot has already booked us passage on a ship heading to the Isle. He has never met the home of his better half, so it's incumbent upon his cousin to show him. He would have liked for you to have a reward. Here, take this gold for your troubles, and safe travels.
If I owned a house... this, it would be hard for me to leave. But leave I must, for adventure's sake.
Honored to see you again, my thing.